Coming up on this edition of Carolina Insider, Gamecock great A'ja Wilson gets some new recognition. We'll try to tackle the uncharted and complicated territory of revenue sharing in college athletics.
There's not a manual for this. There's not here's how we did it last year.
But first, two teams find success right off the bat. Carolina Insider starts now.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for Carolina Insider Sports Edition. I'm Matt Frank. Our top story today, a Midlands basketball team is now one game away from a spot in the state championship. Blythewood High defeated Clover in a dominant victory last weekend, taking the win by more than 30 points. They'll move on to battle Dorman in the Division I 5A Upper State bracket this coming Saturday, who knocked out River Bluff 74-56. The two teams will meet in Florence this Saturday to battle for a spot in the state championship game. On the gridiron, River Bluff High School recently announced the resignation of its head football coach. After 8 years at the helm, Blair Harden led the Gators to 47 wins and 6 playoff appearances. In an interview with the state newspaper, Blair said he wants to spend more time with his family and 3 daughters. Here on campus, both the South Carolina baseball and softball teams are bringing home some early success this season. For more on that, in today's Garnet Report is our own Will Driver from Founders Park. Will?
I'm here at Founders Park where the Gamecocks are coming off of a hot start to the year. However, baseball is not the only team with a hot start. The softball team is off to one of the best starts in program history. Both teams are coming off underperforming years and are looking to make noise with 2 new head coaches. Paul Maneri and Ashley Chastain have brought a newfound sense of hope to the program since their hiring. Explosive bats have been the story this far for both teams. Softball is coming off a streak of 9 consecutive run rule victories, while baseball is averaging almost 8 runs a game. A new buzz can be felt not only from the team, but fans as well. Both teams will look to keep the momentum going this weekend, as softball travels to take on Duke in a 3-game series, while baseball will take on the Clemson Tigers in a 3-game series this weekend, including a home game on Sunday. Next week, I'll be back with more concerning the new head coach of the baseball team.
Thanks, Will. From the Carolinas to the West Coast, athletic programs across the country are gearing up for a change. Starting next academic year, Power 5 conferences will begin sharing revenue with their players. But what that will look like is still very much up in the air. I set out around campus to try to find some answers.
A settlement in the House versus NCAA case will be bringing large changes to collegiate athletics. Universities will soon be allowed to pay athletes directly through revenue sharing. For schools like the University of South Carolina and other Power 4 institutions, it is estimated that they will have $20.5 million annually to spend on their athletic rosters. Senior Deputy Athletics Director Jeff Crane spoke about how the school is planning to approach it.
There's not a manual for this. There's not a, here's how we did it last year sort of approach. So we're learning as we go.
Initial estimates project 75% of the revenue to be spent on football, 15% on men's basketball, 5% on women's basketball, with the final 5% marked for baseball and other. Jordan Kay of the state newspaper talked about the current revenue breakdown of the USC athletic department.
In the last fiscal year, the football program brought in over $30 million. The men's basketball program brought in just over $5 million. And then every other program on campus, including women's basketball, despite winning a national championship, lost money.
Crane expressed concerns that non-revenue sports such as volleyball and track will see less resources.
So we certainly want to be competitive in everything, but the reality is for sustainability, long-term for our program, being competitive in those revenue sports is a critical piece.
Collegiate athletics are changing rapidly. While it is certain that schools will soon be able to pay student athletes, many questions have yet to be answered.
In a recent newsletter, USC's new athletics director, Jeremiah Donati, says he expects the initial cap for players to be in the neighborhood of $20 million and rise over time. Right now, he says the athletic department hasn't budgeted for the expense, but the university is currently working to find solutions and come up with that money. Gamecock great A'ja Wilson is getting a lot of love from the national press these days. Earlier this month, Wilson returned to Colonial Life Arena for the retirement of her jersey number. Now, just a few weeks later, she is receiving national praise for her impressive resume as she was recently announced as one of Time Magazine's Women of the Year. In 2017, Wilson was awarded Most Outstanding Player after she led the Gamecocks to their first NCAA national title. Wilson's other accolades include 2 Olympic gold medals, 2 WNBA championships, and a New York Times best-selling book. We'll wrap it up today with some of the upcoming sporting events in the Columbia area. Gamecock women's tennis looks for its first conference win of the season over Florida at the Carolina Tennis Center tomorrow at 3 p.m. South Carolina men's soccer kick off their spring schedule at Stone Stadium. That's at 4 p.m. Admission to the game is free for everyone. Finally, if you haven't had a chance to see them in person yet, this Sunday might be your last chance. Gamecock women's basketball will close out their regular season at Colonial Life Arena against Kentucky at 2 p.m. That's it for this edition of Carolina Insider, a student production here in the Kennedy Greenhouse studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communications. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow.